I just want to share this for everyone on the line. And it was the best advice I ever received. Every time I show up to write, knowing that I do not have to be a published author, I do not have to be a writer that is well known, I do not have to have a blue check on social media. I am a writer if I write. And I know how that sounds coming from me now, because I remember when I was trying to put my writing out there and all of that, I'm like, yeah, of course, that's easy for you. You have a book. No, I really hope that you take that in, because that's what kept me going when no one cared. When no one cared about what I was writing, I knew that I was doing something that really mattered to me, and that it would also reach people who were looking for it. That inner editor, we're going to talk about that in a few, that perfectionism, that those blocks of anxiety about whether it will be perfect or unfinished. We're going to talk about that. The emotions, the self-editing. Again, a lot of us are talking about perfectionism, and I don't know if you have the Sugar Jar book or if you've even heard of me before this event, but the basis of this book is perfectionism. One of the foundations of the Sugar Jar is perfectionism. Raise your hand if you're a recovering perfectionist. I am a recovering perfectionist. So it's very hard sometimes to be a creative and also be constantly judging yourself as you are creating. I am one of you. I see you. I feel you. The overthinking, all of that kind of ties into our inner critics. So we're going to get into this. I really just want to thank you all for being so transparent and so vulnerable, because it's not easy to share this. But isn't it nice to be in a circle of writers and know that everybody on the line, I'm saying on the line, it's not the 90s, everybody who is logged in is experiencing the same things and can relate to the idea of just, how do I do this? How do I keep going? So we're going to go into our next writing prompt. Because I think it's going to be a helpful exercise to help us get unblocked. I teach for people who struggle with perfectionism. I teach for people who struggle with getting into the ease of writing. And facilitating writing prompt exercise number one is about, once you begin writing, what feels easeful. And the reason that I think this is an important prompt is because we can talk clearly about what sucks. And that sometimes we get stuck in the sucky part. I want you to get clear on what feels good. When you do start writing, what are you excited about? When you share your writing, what are you looking forward to? Also, when you share writing and you look forward to sharing, I want you to get a little bit curious, and we might not have time to talk about it today. Are you looking for validation? Are you looking for someone to say, good job? That is often an expectation. We're setting ourselves up for disappointment. So I had to start for me and not caring what anyone else thought about it in order to really keep myself going, because I cannot control what people are going to say, as I shared in my book. All right, so I've been seeing a lot of your thoughts in the chat. I just want to share that when I'm looking at what feels easeful, it's the things that seemingly feel fun. And I want to remind you that writing is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that we enjoy. Yes, it's also a job for some of us. I was talking to Emily earlier this week, and we were talking about scheduling writing. And I still schedule writing. I do write every single day. There isn't a day that I do not write, but most of my writing is for me. When I write for myself, I'm excited to show up and write for work or write for a book or write for an idea. When all of my writing is just for work and it's just for validation and it's just for what other people may say, then yeah, I come to it like a 9 to 5. And that's not why we do what we do. We do it so that we are excited by it. And it's such a joy to get to do what you love, even if you're not getting paid for it. There's so many people who don't even know what their hobbies are or what they love. So I just wanted to share that as we get into prompt 2, because it's about scheduling or not to schedule. And I think that so many of us struggle with the feeling of, if I'm scheduling this writing, then it's not fun. If I'm scheduling this writing, then it's not important to me because I have to schedule it, which is a story, but we'll talk about that in a second. And I want you to get clear about, do you think setting a time to write is going to be helpful to you? And why or why not? Because a lot of times we have an idea in our head. Scheduling writing is not helpful for me because if I don't show up, then I feel bad about myself. Okay. Yes, that has happened sometimes. How can we reframe that? How can we reframe it to, I didn't show up to write today? Like, for example, today I was scheduled to write at 9 a.m. Did not happen. Why didn't it happen? Because I had a deadline that had to be done for something else. And I'm allowed to change my mind. We got to stop being so hard on ourselves. Like, we are our boss. We're supposed to be our friend. I couldn't write today because I prioritized something else, and I have autonomy over my time and over what I choose for myself. So that means that I'm not in trouble with anyone but me. If and why would I ground me? So I'm going to write tomorrow, like I scheduled at 9. And if something else happens to come up, I have to be flexible with that because we're human. And as humans, we're going to fall short. Things are going to come up. We want to be able to love ourselves through those tough things. So take this time. Maybe we'll do 3 minutes for this one because whether you want to schedule or not may not take that much time. You can share it in the chat and then we'll move into the next prompt. All right, I was writing this in the chat because I see a lot of thoughts around why we schedule and procrastination. And procrastination is often covering up another emotion, whether it's fear, whether it's overwhelm, sadness, grief. And so we choose procrastination, whether we're scrolling on Instagram, whether we're doing whatever else we're doing during our writing time is often covering something else. So I think a great journaling prompt for all of us would be, why do I think I procrastinate? Getting curious about why we think we do it, because the story might be, I procrastinate because I'm busy, or I procrastinate because there's so much going on, or because my kids, or because my job. Getting clear on why I think I'm actually doing it versus blaming everything around us, it helps us to gain more clarity. The way that I teach self-healing work, which is not what we're doing today, but it's helpful for this, is that when we come back to ourselves and we look at what we can control, then we can create change. So if everyone else is impacting my procrastination, then I can never change it because it's just everyone else and I can't control everyone else. But if I look at the ways that I'm impacting my procrastination, then I can actually create real change. Then I can actually create shifts. Then I can actually support myself. So I hope that's helpful for y'all as well.
And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to Yasmine for your incredible words, for your incredible book. We are so excited to have all of you be a part of this event and Girls Right Now. If you would like to check out what Girls Right Now is doing, you can follow us on all social platforms. We are just at Girls Right Now. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, anything you want. We are everywhere. And thank you all so much for being here. It was wonderful to share the space with you.